Hello and welcome to the second showing of Joe's NBA podcast. Today we have a lot of topics to talk about, so let's get into it. Okay, on to the first topic of the day, which is best stats each night of the last week. On Monday we have Tobias Harris, who had 30 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists in a loss versus the Hawks, which is a great effort by him against the Hawks, but Hawks just outplayed that one. And then on Tuesday, we have James Harden, who had 37 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists with 4 steals and a block in a loss versus the Pelicans when they weren't even playing Anthony Davis. That is pretty sad, even though a heroic effort by James Harden. And then we have on Wednesday, Damian Lillard had 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists plus 2 steals in a win versus the Jazz. That's a really good game from Damian Lillard. And then on Thursday, we have Joel Embiid, who had a 26-point game, 20 rebound, 5 assists, and 2 steals in a win versus the Warriors. That's hard to do, to win against the Warriors and grab 20 rebounds. And then on Friday, we have Paul George, who had 43.7 rebounds and 5 assists in a win versus the Heat. And then finally, on Saturday, we have Kemba Walker, who had 37 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists in a win versus the Bulls. On to the second topic of the day, which is if the Nuggets actually have a chance at a playoff run for a spot in the West. So my thoughts on this is that they have a great core. They have Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Paul Millsap, and a ton of other great supporting cast, and they right now are tied with one of the best teams in history, the Golden State Warriors, who have 5 All-Stars. That is insane that they can be tied with them for the number 1 spot in the West. That is just insane. By this, I could see them trying to make a late playoff run and even going for the finals. I don't know if they'd be able to beat a team like Milwaukee or Toronto or even Boston in the finals, though, but that's a great team to look out for in the future, and we'll have to see what happens. So on to our third topic of the day, we have who will make it out east. We have the Bucks right now sitting in number 1 with Giannis and Chris Middleton. And then we have in the second seed Toronto, who's not very far behind with Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard. And then after that we have the Boston Celtics with Kyrie Irving and Jason Tatum and even Al Horford and Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward. But then we also have the Indiana Pacers, who seem to be out of it now after their injury to their star player, Victor Oladipo. Hopefully he can get better soon. But back to the Bucks, they have a really good chance after signing a new head coach in the offseason after firing Jason Kidd. So now this could be their year for the Bucks. And then we also have the Toronto Raptors, who seem to be going all in this season because they traded for Kawhi Leonard for their superstar DeMar DeRozan last season after it didn't work out and they lost to LeBron. So this could be all in. And even if they win a championship this year and Kawhi leaves in the offseason, that won't seem like a bad trade at all, as that would be their first championship in their team history. So, yeah, and then we also have Boston, who has just an amazing starting lineup, and they could be making it out east after seeing what they did last year, making it all the way to 7 without Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward, and just having that young core with Jason Tatum leading the way for them. That was crazy, and now we'll have to see what happens when the playoffs come around. So, just a heads up on our last topic. It's going to be about the award winners, and I actually filmed this for the last episode, but I accidentally grabbed the wrong file and couldn't put it in last episode, so I'm putting it into this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy. So just remember, I filmed this on Friday, so it's gonna sound a little bit weird, but just remember I filmed this on Friday. Thank you. Now on to the fourth part of our podcast and the final part. We're gonna talk about the award races. For MVP, my front runner right now is James Harden. His scoring run was just insane. he had that 61-point game. He was going off for like 40 points, like 35 points. That was insane, and led the Rockets back into playoff contention after starting the year off slow. Next candidate is Giannis Antetokounmpo, who came out guns blazing this season and are leading the Bucks to the number 1 seed in the East with the help of Chris Middleton. And then we have LeBron James, who might be a surprise to some people because he's been out for a while, but if you really look at it, the most valuable player award is given to the player who has the biggest impact on their team. And LeBron went out and we started losing badly. So then LeBron came back and we got a win. So really, that could show that LeBron James is our MVP, but he still has that thing of missing a lot of games, which might hurt him in the future. The next word we're going to talk about is the Defensive Player of the Year. My winner right now is probably Kawhi Leonard, because his defense for the Raptors has just been insane. At the beginning of the year, he had one play where he wasn't even looking at the ball, dove on the floor, and caught it mid-pass. That was just an insane play on defense, and I don't know how he did it. Then the next candidate I have is Joel Embiid, who's been a really good defender for the Sixers this season and is averaging a few blocks a game. And then finally we have Rudy Gobert, who is also snubbed for the All-Star game and has been doing a really good defense after winning the Defensive Player of the Year last year too. And then we have Rookie of the Year, and I already have the winner. It's got to be 100% Luka Doncic. His play for the Mavericks has just been insane. He's a born leader for that team. He led his EuroLeague team like that. That was just good. But then we also have Trae Young and DeAndre Ayton, who are potential, but they're not going to win it. And then we have Most Improved, who I want so badly to be Derrick Rose. His plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves have been insane. He's been a clutch time closer for them, a nice three-point shooter, and just overall a really good player for them so far this season. Then we have Jamal Murray, who's been a really good second starter pair with Nikola Jokic. And then we have D'Angelo Russell, who's been leading the Nets team to a pretty good record out in the East. Then for the final award, the Sixth Man of the Year, the Derrick Rose. He's been still killing it for the Minnesota Timberwolves, as I've said. I just want that man to win something this year. He deserves it. And then we have Lou Williams, who was killing it for the Clippers in the beginning of the season and is still pretty much killing it now. And then we also have Spencer Dinwiddie, who's also been a great backup point guard for the Nets when D'Angelo Russell is out. And that's it for our award races of 2019. We'll see what happens next in July, I assume. Thank you guys for watching Joe's NBA Podcast. Be sure to tune in next week. I've decided what I'm going to do every time I upload these. I'm going to do 2 every weekend so that I can still focus on school throughout the week. And yeah, thank you guys for watching Joe's NBA Podcast.